Okay, guys. Today we'll create one function module which is used to select data from database tables, right? So in the previous session, we have created one sample function module just to understand how import, export, exceptions, these kind of parameters will work. Okay. So today we'll create one more custom function module and select the data, or you can call it as business logic. We are going to implement the business logic inside a function module, and we are going to use that function module in a program. Okay, so let's first design our requirement. So my requirement is I have a program which will accept company code as input like this, and return sales data as output, some sales data. Okay, clear? This is my output. So now tell me how we need to design the program. So in initialization, if you need any default values, we are going to populate default value for the company code field. In at selection screen, what we need to do? We
Validate
need to
the
validate the inputs. Whatever the inputs we have, we need to validate. Since we have only one input here, we need to validate that input, right? If you have multiple, you need to validate the multiple inputs, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, for validation, how to validate the company code?
from the check table T001.
From the check table, right? So
Yes,
there are
sir.
two
Yes,
types of
sir.
validations. Checking is there any value available in that input or not, when that is a mandatory method, or if there is a value, we need to validate whether that value is a correct
Done.
value or not, right? So that we cannot allow the user to enter any value, right? In place of company code, he should enter a proper company code, right? So we need to validate the company code, and we need to select the data, sales order data by company code, right?
Yes.
This is our requirement. Now, let's create the program first. So this is very important. Please observe carefully. Please concentrate on the class.
Yes, sir.
Now, please observe one more thing here. So what is the package we are assigning as of now?
Local
Local object, right?
temporary.
We cannot transport that to the test system. We cannot transport these objects to the test system. Now we'll assign a proper package. How we do it in the project, okay?
Okay,
In a
sir.
program. So every module or every functional domain, there might be a separate package for that corresponding object, okay? So there might be GFI package for FI related objects, GSD package for sales and distribution related objects. So you have to check uh, with your lead or your seniors in the project about the package what you need to use. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Let me select some package, custom package. So it starts with Z. There are many packages. For now, I'll just select this one. Z001 is my package. Assume it as my package. Click on save. Now what it is expecting? It is expecting a
Program.
transport request. What is this? Workbench request. Nothing but a transport request, right? What is the use of this transport request? By using this transport request, we can release or we can transport the changes from development to test system or to production system, right? So in any project, there will be three different systems: development system, test system, production system. So where we are going to create the programs, where we are going to do this development, application development, in which environment?
The
Table maintenance. Wait.
In, in development
development
system, we are
skill
going to create the objects and we are going to release those objects to test
testing.
system for testing, right?
Yes, sir.
Once the testing is completed, objects will be transported to production system,
Production.
right? Production system is the live system where the actual transactions will happen, right?
Yes.
If you go to the shopping mall, there will be a billing counter, right?
Yes, sir.
And there they are going to enter your data or bills in the application, some application, right? In the computer, or they can use
Yes.
some barcode scanner to read your materials, whatever you purchased. So what system it is? Is it a production system or development system? Whatever that end user, that
Production.
clerk is
Production
using,
system. Production, sir.
that is a production system, right? If you go to the bank, whatever the bank cashier is using some application to enter your data or to enter your deposits, what type of system it is? Is it a production system or test system?
Production, sir.
Production system. That is a live system, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
if there is any changes for that application,
It goes to test system.
no, the changes will happen in development
Development.
system, right?
Yes, sir.
And that change will be applied to
So,
test system. Once the testing is completed, the same change will be applied to production system,
production.
right? Now,
Yes, sir.
do the same to develop the new applications or to change the existing applications. Once the change is completed, how can you apply that change from development system to test system? Test or QA. You can also call it as QA system, prod system. Now, where we are going to create the programs or tables or any applications?
Development.
Development systems. So once the program is ready, how the testing team will test? That program should be available in a testing server, right?
Yes, sir.
How the program which we created in development system will be moved to test server? Do we need to copy and paste? Do we need to go to SC38 in test server and create a program, and do we need to copy and paste the code whatever we created in development system? No, right? That
No,
should
sir.
not happen. Even you don't have access to SC38, SC11, SC37, this kind of development transaction codes in a test system or production system. How to apply those applications to test system? By using
Package.
Transport
transport
request.
request. All your objects will be assigned to a transport request. When you release the transport request will apply the changes to the test system. Okay, when you are creating the objects in development system, you are going to assign all that objects to a transport request. Once your development is completed, you need to release the transport request to test system. Once the testing is completed, the same transport request will be released to production system. All your changes will be automatically applied to test system or production system by using
Trans.
transport request. As of now, we did not use transport request. We assigned all our objects to local object, right? Local package.
Yes, sir. Local.
So when you assign objects to the local package, it won't create any transport request, so that you cannot transport those objects to test system. Those are local to the development system, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, so it is when since we assigned a proper package, it is asking for a transport request for this program, for this new program. So this is the existing transport request created by some other user for some other application requirement, some other application development. Is this related to us?
No, sir.
No, we should not assign objects to any transport request. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so we should create a separate transport request for our application development. Okay,
Okay, sir.
sometimes we add our programs to a common transport request which is using by other users also, but that is a different scenario. Now we are creating a new application, right?
Yes, sir.
So we need to create our own transport request. Don't add to the existing transport request.
Okay, sir.
First create your transport request. For example, transport request description. This is the number will be automatically generated. You have to provide the description. For example, I'll provide the description like this: task 200. Okay, this is by transport request description. Project is optional. Okay, in some projects they use like this also. One means first transport request created for this application. Okay,
Okay,
this
sir.
is just a description. Click on save. A new transport request is created. Click on continue. Now our program is assigned to one transport request. Where you can check the transport request. SC09 is the transaction code. Which one? SC09.
C09.
Select modifiable and release. You can see the status here. If when you go to SC09, what is modifiable status? That request is ready to release. That is not yet released to the test system. Okay. Once it is released, then it will be in
Erase.
released status. Okay. Now let's select both. Display. This is the transport request, right? What we have created. Task 200. This is the description and this is the transport request. If you expand this, this is the main task and this is the subtask. Inside the subtask, you can see all the objects assigned to this transport request. We have assigned this program, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's say we need to create an include program for this. Do we need to create a new transport request?
No need, sir.
No.
You already
Since that include program is related to this task
exclude
200
executive.
development only, SO data report only, we should not create one more transport request. Assign already created transport request. Okay. For example,
Yes,
if
sir.
you need to create a function module for this application development, SO data report application development, do we need to create a new transport request?
Yes,
No, you don't need. You can assign that objects to the
this.
existing transport request. Okay. Sometimes we do create a new transport request, but not for every object. Okay. Now, this is how we create the transport request. Startup selection. Define the parameter. What is the input for our application program?
Because
Company code.
Company code. For example, I'll take like this. Okay. Let me maintain the selection text. Activate this. Go back. This is your company code. Then what is the next step? So if you want to populate any default values, populate here in initialization. And then we need to validate the company code, right? How to validate the company code?
Select
Select the,
single bookers from table
what is the table? T001.
T001, sir.
What does this means? If subrs is not equal to 0, that means
there is an error.
that company code is not available in master data table.
Master.
So that is not a valid company code. Then message.
Enter valid company code. E.
So this is how we need to handle the like validate the company code, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's assume company code might be using in different applications also, right? As a input, not only in the sales data report, right? There might be
But
same company code as a input available in other programs also. That is possible, right?
yes,
Then
Yes, sir.
can I use the same validation in other program? Whatever the code I implemented
Yes,
here in the
sir.
program, can I use this code in any other program if we have
Yes, sir.
same validation?
Include
yes,
Yes, sir.
How can you use this?
Using include program
Using include program, that is one option.
or calling
all
function module.
function.
Calling function module. This code, whatever written, this is local to this program. If you need to make it as a reusable functionality, what you need to do? You need to modularize this. You need to modularize this validation, company code validation. Next time, wherever you have requirement to validate a company code, you can just use that function module. Okay? You don't need to write all these select statements and everything. Pass the input and it will return the output. Okay? Now, how to modularize company code validation? Not only company code, any validation, any field, customer, vendor, whatever, right? It is similar. Only tables or fields will be different. Now, to modularize this, what we need? A function module. Create a function module for validation. Create. Yesterday I have already created a function group. I'm using that function group. Okay.
Awesome.
Continue. Now, so what is the requirement of this function module? Validating the company code, right? What should
Yes.
be the input?
Lucas.
Input should be company code.
Lucas. Company code.
Since it's the importing parameter, I'll use naming convention like
EMP.
this.
Bookers.
What is the type of the company code?
Bookers.
What is the data
Lucas.
element of the company code?
Cat for
What is the data element of the company code?
sorry. Bookers, sir. Bookers.
Bookers. Bookers data element here.
Oh,
Okay. If you want to pass any default value, you can pass here in single quotes. For example, SAP company code like this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Is it a optional input or mandatory input?
option.
And mandatory.
Mandatory, right? Without a value,
Yes,
how
sir.
can you validate the company code? It is mandatory. So don't select optional. You have to pass company code. Then what should be the output? If the company code is available in the table, what we'll do? We'll
Any
return some
name.
value. We'll return some output. Yes or no, right? For example, ex underscore output. Mm, what will return? Return company code only. Will return company code only. If the company code is available, we'll return same company code. If company code is not available, we're not going to return anything, right? Clear?
Yes,
Type
sir.
bookers. We'll return company code only. Return also company code value. Now, you know how to define exceptions. Go to source code. I'm not defining any exceptions. Now, how to write the code? Select single bookers from B001 into you can
Zero.
directly take this exporting parameter. What is the type of this exporting parameters?
Lucas.
Bookers, right? What is the field we are selecting?
Lucas.
Bookers, right? So it is
Yes, sir.
matching. We are selecting one field and the exporting parameter also referring to the same field, right? Now I can directly take this, or you can create a separate variable for that. That is also fine. Okay.
If in case not match the input and export, sir, what?
It will return the error. Okay. Give me 2 minutes.
Definitely both are matched,
Yeah,
sir.
1 second. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Um, let me complete this and I'll take your question. Output where bookers equal to im underscore bookers. That's it. If the value is there, it will populate that company code value to ex underscore output. If the company code is not available, this will be blank, right? Or we have different alternatives to do the same. We can also define one sub RC. Let me define one more. Okay, one additional parameter. Actually, this is not required. We'll define one more additional parameter. We'll use subrc type same sy hyphen subrc. So what it will accept? Status code, right? 0 1 2 3 4, right?
Yes.
Now
Exception.
if sy hyphen, or even you don't need to check anything, just pass ex underscore subrc equal to sy hyphen subrc. Now whatever the subrc status, it is generated after the select statement that we are populating to the exporting parameter. Okay. Now when you are calling this function module in the program, you can check this output parameter is initial or not initial, or you can also check subrc value. Actually this is optional, I just added for your understanding, right? In different ways we can do that validation. Now let's check this. Now let's test the program, sorry, not the program, function module. How to test the function module? Rise no data. Did someone change it? Looks like someone changed it. You should not use rise here. So why it is showing the error in other what is the function module that I am creating? Zdemo Bookers validation, right? This is the function module that I am creating. Check the syntax. Activate. Try to execute. Actually that error is gone. It is showing the error in other function module because that function module is also added to
Function group,
same
same
function group.
function group.
Same function group. So whatever the function modules you added to the function group, all should be consistent without any errors. If there is any error in one function module, that's going to impact all the function modules assigned to that function group, because all function modules are going to share the same function group master program, right? That's you have to be very careful when you are assigning function modules to the function group. So all your function modules should be consistent and active. Okay, so now let's test our function module. What is the input? Company code, right? Do we have this company code 0001? Let's try. What is the output? 0001 in one exporting parameter. What is the subrc? 0. That means this is a valid company code. Let's try a different number. 201. I'm not sure is it available or not. Now what is the output? In
4,
exporting parameter it is blank and subrc is
4.
4. That means
Wrong.
this is not a valid company code,
Right.
right? You can take any one of them. Okay, you can take any one exporting parameter. Both are not required actually. Okay, just created for your understanding. You can use either output or subrc, or you can also use some yes or no, like that also, some character type data, whatever, yn, like that also. Okay, so let me debug this. Let me pass some incorrect value. F5 subrc is 4. So this 1020 company code is not available. Now I am passing that subrc value as it is to the exporting parameter. Okay, since there is no company code available, the exporting parameter is blank, right? Now let's call this function module in our program. Let's assume we are already having a function module available for company code validation. Now do I need to write the select statements in the program? Do I need to write these select statements?
No, sir.
Yes, I'll just use the existing functionality which is already available. Go to pattern. So this function module is already there for company code validations. Now I'll pass the company code as input, and you should make sure the importing parameter of the function
Data
module
types.
and the parameter what we are
Calling
passing here should be
same.
same. Now enable the importing nothing but exporting parameters what we defined in the function module. Okay, now let's define two variables. Inline declarations are not going to work with function modules. Okay, in class methods you can declare like this using data of lv underscore output like this in class methods, but here inline declarations are not going to work with function modules. Type what is the type of output exporting parameter? What is the
Focus.
type of this? Bookers, right?
Focus.
Bookers.
Yes, sir.
You have
Focus.
to take same type. What is the type of this subrc?
SV Savarsi.
Lv underscore subrc. Can I take like this? Ex underscore subrc as a variable. Can I take like this and pass it here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can take it. Okay, you can define the objects like this also, but as per the naming conventions, use some proper naming convention. Okay,
Yes.
now now how to display the error if it is not valid? I can do in two ways. If lv underscore output is which one? When I need to raise the error,
Wrong way.
lv underscore output is initial. Initial means if it is empty, no value populated, then raise error message. Okay, or since we have one more parameter, how to validate other way? If sy hyphen, sorry, not sy hyphen, what is the variable we are passing to the function module? If lv underscore subrc is not equal to 0, then there is error. Okay,
Yes, sir.
activate. Now let's validate this, check this. I mean, let's try with a proper company code. Execute. Function module is executed. F7. If I click on F7, what will happen? Now I am inside the function module. If I click on F7, it will take me to the calling program, right? Subrc equal to 0, no error. Let me try some junk value. Execute. Subrc 4, F7. It will raise the error message. Okay. Now, if you have a similar requirement in any other program to validate the company code, I can just call this function module and pass the importing and exporting parameters, right? Without writing any code.
Yes, sir.
Since we have only 3 lines of code in this function module, you may think that it is why we need this function module. But in general, there might be hundreds of lines of code in some functions, right? So without implementing all those hundreds of lines of code, we can just reuse it. Okay. Now, validation is completed. Now come to the data selection. So what is the input to select the data? Sales order data, company code, right? What is the output? What is the output? Maybe few fields from VBAK, few fields from VBAP, few fields from MAKT, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Or I'll create one function module with two different requirements. So let's return VBAK record, whatever the record available in VBAK for that company code. That is one requirement. The other requirement, I'll display all the sales orders available for that company code. Let's create a function module to select the data, to select the business logic. We are going to create a function module now. Create the function module. I'll assign the same function group. What is the input for this function module? To select the sales data, what is our input? What is the input for the program?
Lucas.
Company code, right? So we're selecting the data by company
Lucas.
code. Define company code as input. Type same. What is the output? Sales data, right?
Sales data. Yes, sir.
Few
Company.
fields from one table, few fields from other table, right? Now, where we need to define the data in export
Export. In
parameter.
export, sir.
All the sales order header records available. We are going to select all the sales order header records available for the company code. Let's see combination of different fields after this. What is the table for purchase order header data?
VBA.
VBAK. Now tell me, is this EX underscore VBAK? We have taken the reference as VBAK table, right? Now, is this EX underscore VBAK, is it going to work as work area or internal table like structure? Is it going to
Work
accept single
area,
record or
single
multiple records? Only
single records.
single record, right?
Yes, sir.
To accept multiple records, what we need to make it as internal table, what we need? We need a table type. We need to create a table type. Now tell me, how many records we can expect for a single company code? How many sales orders will be available? Multiple, right?
Yes,
There
sir.
might be multiple sales orders for a single company code. Now we should expect more than one record, right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
how to create or how to do that? Let's keep it as it is. Let's keep it as it is to accept or to pass single record so that you can understand the difference. Now we'll define one more exporting parameter to return the multiple records available for that company code, multiple sales orders available for that company code. Okay.
Just like sir.
I'll take ET underscore VBAK as a different naming convention. Now type, if you take VBAK, it's going to work as work area or internal table. Now
Work
what is
area.
this ET underscore VBAK? Is it a work area like structure or internal table like structure? As per this declaration,
Work area, sir.
Work
work area
area.
or internal table?
Work area.
Work
Work
area
area,
only, right? Work area only.
yes,
Only
sir.
name is different. Data declaration is same, right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
how to make this as internal table like structure? For that we need to use a
Tables.
table type. How to create table type? Go to SC11 and go to data type, Z demo underscore T underscore VBAK. This is my table type name. Create. In the meantime, so it's still creating this. In the meantime, I'll go to source code and I'll write the code whatever required. Even it's not also, it is also not working. Wait. So when we are creating the table, we can use table names or structure names also. When we take structure, so when we need a limited fields, now if you take VBAK, so it will take the complete table reference, all the fields of the table, right?
Yes, sir.
But that is not necessary. Every time we are not going to select all the fields of the table. We just select only required fields. Since we are using table, it will take the complete table reference. Now select the table type and create the table type. In line type, what we need to enter? Table name or structure name. Provide table type for VBAK and just activate it. Now assign the package, the same package. Click on save. It will ask for the transport request. Click on select the existing transport request what you created for this application and click on continue. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This object also will be assigned to the same transport request. Our table type is ready. Copy this table type. Now go to export. Instead of VBAK, provide the table type name. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now EX underscore VBAK can accept only a single record. ET underscore VBAK can accept multiple records
Table.
because it's an
Yes, sir.
internal table like structure. Since we defined with reference of table type. Okay.
Okay,
Now go
sir.
to source code. Implement the source code. Select star from VBAK into table. Can I take the direct exporting parameter ET underscore VBAK? Can I take like this or do we need to define any internal table? What is the type of this ET underscore VBAK? Is it a complete table
Table
reference or
table,
few
sir.
fields of the table?
Complete table.
Complete table reference. We are using select star here, right? That means
Yes.
we are selecting
Fill
all the
table.
fields so that both are compatible, right? ET VBAK and select star.
Yes, sir.
So that I can directly use this exporting parameter, or you can also define one internal table where bookers is equal to which one? IM underscore booker. Since I am using inline declaration, use the escape sign. Then if sy hyphen sub rc equal to 0, then return the data. Is it going to return the output? Is the statement is going to return the output? The
No,
calling
sir.
program? No,
No.
right? We are not passing the data to exporting parameter. That is very important. Pass the data to exporting parameter equal to lt underscore VBAK. Here you can apply for all entries, joins, any logic inside this function module. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm selecting all the records, all the sales orders created for this specific company code, right? So let me populate this one also, this exvbak. For this, what is the select statement we need to use?
Select single.
Yeah, we need to use select single because it can accept only a single record, right?
Yes, sir.
Into, you can define a separate work area or you can directly use exporting parameter.
AHV. Okay.
From select single star from
After star from sir. Select
Yeah, yeah.
star.
From where hookers equal to, is it a proper select single statement? What is the primary key of VBAK?
VBLN.
EBLN, right? VBAK, VBLN. That is the primary key. But what we are passing here, company code, right?
Workers.
That is not primary key of VBAK.
And
So we should not use this kind of select single statements. Okay, that is not recommended. It will work, but this is not recommended. Okay, what is the mandatory condition when we are using select single? We should pass all the primary key fields in the where condition. Okay, now actually this is not required. I have just added for your understanding. Now check the function module. Unknown. Don't we have bookers in? Sorry, I think we don't have bookers in VBAK, right?
Yes, sir. EKK, that is what I'm thinking.
In EKKO we have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's change it to, let's change the table in exporting. Instead of VBAK, we use
VKK.
EKKO. Actually, this is not sales order data then. This is purchase order data. Now go to table type, change it, change the line type to EKKO, activate it, activate the, actually we need to rename everything. Rename nothing but we can copy into a new object and delete this object. For now, you can understand, you are able to follow, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let me change the names. EKKO, ET underscore, EKKO, rename, rename. Now go to the source code. Uh,
Here IT
which one?
in ET underscore EKKO type ZMOT EKKO.
This one you mean?
Yes, sir.
Did we create any table type with the name right ZMOT underscore EKKO? We did not create, right?
Yes, sir.
That's a
Okay.
custom table type. So I've just changed the line type here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, name is this, but
Her
don't
name.
confuse.
Okay, sir.
Okay, EKKO and LT underscore EKKO, ET underscore EKKO. Here also use EKKO. Pretty printer, check the syntax. Escape sign is missing here. No errors found. Activate it. Let's try some company code. Triple 001. I don't think we have any records with this. What is the company code we have used last week? 1050. Let's try this. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you guys tell me one company code which is having some data, or let me find? EKKO. Let's see. Execute. Company code VCCL. Let me try this. VCCL. Maybe, where is it? Execute. So how many records we have? 11 records.
11 entries.
11 records into ET underscore EKKO, and only one record into EXEKKO, because that's a work area like structure. You can observe the difference, the symbol also. Okay, this with table symbol, right?
Yes, sir.
Now our function module is ready. Call that function module in our program. Our business logic is ready. Now how to call? Go to pattern, and actually this is not sales data, purchase order data. I'll do one thing. I'll rename this function module. How to rename? Just copy this function module, and I'll make this as PO data. Okay, copy the function module into new function module, and activate this function module, and I'll delete the sales data function module. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now let's call instead of sales, PO. Okay, what is the input? Company code is the input. What is the output? We have two exporting parameters, so we can use any one of them. For now I am enabling this. So what is the type reference for this? Sorry, I don't want this. And let's enable both. Now tell me what we need to pass here for the EX underscore EKKO and ET underscore EKKO. We need to define work area. What is the type? Type EKKO. And we need to define one internal
Internal
table,
table.
that is IT underscore EKKO type. How to define the internal
Table
table?
of data
Standard
table.
table of EKKO. Okay. Now pass the work area to EX like single work area like structure, and pass the internal table to
IT.
internal table like structure. Right? So defining internal table in two ways, since we are using table type. The alternative is like this: IT underscore EKKO type. What is the table type we used?
ZMOT underscore.
BBAK.
So now, what is this IT underscore EKKO? Is it a work area like structure or internal table like structure?
Internal table.
Because
Standard
we
table of.
defined with reference to table type,
Table type.
right? We need to define with reference of line type. Double click on this. What is the line type we have? EKKO. That is the actual table structure. If you want to define with line type, you need to use a type standard table of. If you need to define with the line type or table name. When you are using table type, don't use type
Stand.
standard table of.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You don't need to use type standard table of when you are using table type in the reference. Now I'm passing data objects in the calling program, work area and internal table. Now let's display the output. Let's display some data. Right? Now whenever I have similar requirement to select the purchase order header data, I can use this function module. Okay. What is the company code with some data? VCCL. Execute. So this is the output, which is selecting using function module. Okay. We handled validation and as well as business logic using function module. Did you guys see any select statements or any business logic in the main program? Are you
No,
able to
sir.
see?
No.
Everything we modularized using function modules.
Function call.
Function modules, right? So going forward, whenever you are creating a program, I should not be able to see any business logic or validations inside the main program. All should be in a function module. Okay, clear? And you just need to call that function module in the program.
Sir,
Yes.
when creating a function module, if we create it for not only for company code, even for retrieving some other data,
Any
and
data.
when main program only we want to get, I mean, in the function module already created, we have some
Hmm.
different fields, but
Yes.
now we want to create a program for only some particular fields.
Hmm.
Then we need to create some new other function
Yeah,
modules, sir.
when the importing parameters of the function module is not suitable for our program, we need to create another function module as per our requirement.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
So any other questions? So now the next step is we have to select only required fields from multiple tables using joins or for all entries. There we are collecting fields from different tables and we are preparing a final internal table, right?
Sure.
Now tell me, how can you create a final internal table with the help of function modules? For that, you need to create one structure with all the required fields. How many of you know structure?
Um,
We have already created, right, a group of fields.
yes, sir.
You need to
It
group
is
all
11.
required fields into one structure
Construction.
from these multiple tables, right? And then you need to
Yes,
create table type with reference to
sure.
that structure.
Sure.
Okay. So here we created the table type, right, for VBAK, sorry, EKKO.
Yes,
What is
sir.
the line type we used? VBAK
EKK.
table, right? Sorry, EKKO table,
BKK.
right?
Oh, sir.
So instead of EKKO, what you need to use? That structure with fields from different tables. All right. and you need to write select statement or join statement according to that. Just try that. If you're not able to do that, in the next session I'll create and show you how to select only required data. Here we are selecting complete table records, all the fields, right? But usually we don't do that. We select only required fields. For that, we need to make use of structure, okay, instead of complete table reference. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so just try to create programs using function modules for validation and business logic. For now, you can take any table, complete table reference. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Uh,